you should be with me. Oh girl, bring on your loving girl, bring on your body tonight. Bring on your body girl, bring on your loving tonight. Give me your loving girl, bring on your body tonight. Bring on your body girl, give me your loving tonight. Bring on your loving girl, bring on your body tonight. Bring on your body girl, bring on
Pick up a package for mom. You already know who it's coming from. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You taught me how to pray, taught me to trust the King and always obey. From you let me learn, there is no other way. Giving thanks every day. Remember the times I was tempted to stray. Then I would have hear me mother voice, she may say, no my son, that is not the proper way. And I know see no better way for right to repair. To bring on the time, follow I won't delay. Take it as me tell you, mama, this is no play. You love it on me yard, me you just can't decay. And again, for the foundation you lay. I love you. I love you, I love you. From we was a little baby and a teen, the mom she woulda walk me out in the morning breeze. So me first know the birds, so me know the bees, and I would smell the nature fragrance of the tree. I tried to walk and fall on my knees. My mother brushed me off, the true my golly squeeze. So when I put the tongue, she understand my needs, and I never forget things like these. Who washed the uniform and all the car keys? Who changed the pampas and all the nappies? And never get here, the ungrateful seed. And when we non young, we mother we have a feed. I love you. I love you. I love you. You're everything to me. Yeah. Mom, you're my everything. I need my blessings to see. Yeah. You are even the reason why I see it. You're everything to me. Yeah. You're my everything. I need my blessings to see. Yeah. You empower me to be the man that I be. I love you. I love you, man. I love you. I love you, man. Yeah. Shot to the rock, like the lock to the top. Air with Citizen K music. Doing this one for the beautiful mothers across the globe, across the universe. Yeah. Mother Earth.
Are you into the agricultural industry? Do you want the funds to grow your business? Quartz Ready Cash Small Business Loans is launching the $20 million agricultural fund. All you need to apply is your ID, proof of address, and 2 references, and you will receive the funding to get the equipment, tools, products, staffing, and services to grow your business. Plus, you pay nothing down. Get flexible payment terms, fast approval, and convenient hassle-free service. Don't hesitate. Apply today at www.readyfinancecaribbean.com or call 457-8100, 285-6596 or 285-6214. Quartz Ready Cash Small Business Loans. Every day we help businesses succeed.
www.shopmassystoresSLU.com. It's Massy Stores online supermarket where you shop and pay for your groceries online. Try today and get double points when you shop online. It's simple and convenient. Choose delivery to your doorstep with quick delivery or collect curbside, which is absolutely free. Massy Stores online supermarket. Shop now.
You asked for more live and relevant talk shows, and we heard you. 88.5 Super FM presents House Guest, a brand new, fresh fortnightly feature airing on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. House Guest will showcase a cadre of professionals from doctors and entrepreneurs to the next door friendly neighbor. So tune in as we network the community with a platform for open, frank, and informative discussion. Only on Super FM, your community radio station.
88.5 Surface FM. Good morning to you. It's now 12 minutes after the hour of 10 a.m. in Surface and Lucia, and of course the Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to another edition of House Guests. And today is the 8th day of March 2023. Let me reach out to our listening audience. If you are celebrating, let me say happy birthday to you. And reaching out to all women as well. We feel empowered today. Happy International Women's Day. I know I'm not contradicting anything. I have with me in studio Mr. Harold Dalsan, Chairman of the Sufre Marine Management Association. Good morning to you, sir, and it's a pleasure to have you here in studio this morning.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, viewers. First of all, let me join you in congratulating and extending special greetings to all women. Today is International Women's Day, and we know how important women are in every society. So on your day, I say big up to all of you. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning, Kabina, to discuss matters pertinent to the operations of the SMMA, and I look forward to respond to your questions.
Thank you so much. Once again, it's a pleasure to have you, Grace Sase. I know you're running a tight shift. First and foremost, tell us about yourself, who you are, who persons know you as.
But if there is somebody in Sufre who doesn't know me, that person hasn't been in Sufre for long, because I've been involved in every single entity, every single organization in this community. Like, I'm actually from Boarding Choiseul, grew up in Choiseul as a young child. Wow. Yes, I made my first communion at the Choiseul Church, came down to Sufre after my first communion and lived in Sufre thereafter up to this point. I started teaching at a very young age, taught for almost 27, 30 years, became a school principal, studied in Jamaica, came back, started teaching at the then Sufre Secondary School, at where the boys' primary school is right now, and then became principal of the primary school. I also worked with the tourism board at the time as a manager for the tourism board office in Sufre. I also worked as the chairman of this organization. I was also the chairperson of the town council. It was not mayor at that time. You can just name it. I was president of the Sufre Taxi Association. I got myself involved in trade union activity in Sufre with the teachers branch, and got myself involved in karate club, sports club, youth and sports council, carnival committee. You just name it. My name is somewhere. I have some kind of fingerprint or footprint there.
So I can rightfully say you're well versed. Kudos to that. Now we actually know you're the chairman of the Sufre Marine Management Association. You want to speak to us about that process? How is it for you, and how actually you were able to now work with such a reputable organization?
Well, I was invited by the Minister of Agriculture to serve on the board of the Soufrière Marine Management Authority after the resignation of the then chair, Mr. Ricky Alexander. There was a void for some period of time, and I was approached, and I was no longer in the politics. I was no longer in the politics, and so I saw it as an opportunity for me to once again make a contribution to yet another organization in Soufrière. And so I opted to accept the offer. And from then, that was in 2021, I believe it was, about August, September, that's when I started.
A little history about the SMMA. Persons may not necessarily know what is it about and the functions more or less.
The SMMA was formed, actually created sometime around 1994, thereabout. Coming out of community discussion, community consultation, to respond to the need of managing and looking at conservation of our marine resource, sustaining it in a manner that it can become a tourism product, in a manner that it can benefit the fishermen, in a manner that it can benefit the community as a whole, in a manner that will manage the resource, that would diversify our tourism products, and so that somebody coming to St. Lucia will not only come for the sea, the sun, the beaches, or the waterfalls or sulfur springs, but they will also come because we have a very attractive marine resource that they can see. I don't know how many of the listeners would know that below the sea is equally beautiful as what we see above the sea. You might know that somewhere by Ratchet Point there is a structure which some people refer to as the piton, because the topography of the place has created that rock which resembles the piton quite much.
Thank you so much, for that bit of history for sure. Um, Tell us of the few activities that has been undertaken as well by the SMMA.
Well, since coming into office, I must say that when I came into office, the after effects of COVID left the SMMA in a very critical state, and I had to begin from scratch to build it back. And gradually we are getting there. A number of legal things have to be put in place. For example, the board of the SMMA, to be a member of the board, you have to be registered with the registry of companies as a board member. That had not been done, so I proceeded immediately to get a board legal and with and operating within the limits of the Companies Act. Also, the staff of the SMMA, at that time when I came in, they were working 3 days a week, and that was going on in almost every organization because everybody was badly hit by COVID. So I immediately went ahead and tried to collect dues and user fees outstanding to try to bring them back, all of them full time, and that was done within 1 month. There were some debts that had to be paid. They were critical that we paid them immediately. We got that done by approaching some of our stakeholders, some of our clients who were owing, and offered them a package, and some of them responded, and we got the monies, and we were able to pay off all these debts, total amount over $21,000 between September and December when I came in. In addition to that, by December, we were able to give the staff a bonus of $500 each because they had suffered quite severely from COVID. So in order to give them a little bit of assistance, the little monies that we collected from those persons owing us, we were able to give it back, to give them a little something to help them go in for the Christmas season. So within a short space of time, we were able to achieve quite a bit, and we are continuing to achieve quite a bit as we speak. I got in contact with different agencies. One is GIZ, it's a German agency. We got over $100,000 worth of material, things like shackles and chain and rope and buoys and a number of the things that the rangers need to do their work and to maintain the moorings that you see in the water. They have to be maintained like anything else. So we got all of this for nothing, and so immediately the rangers went out and started changing and putting and installing new buoys and new moorings, and we've been doing that. As we speak right now, I just got another grant from that same agency to do 3 projects. One project is what we call document management, because when I walked in the SMMA, there were boxes and boxes of material, of paper, of correspondence, of documents with value. Some of them capture the history of the SMMA. Some of them capture the history of different aspects of marine life in Soufrière. They are good documents that at some point in time, somebody doing research can go and find out about it and then get the information. So I looked at that and I said, no, that needs to be remedied. So part of the project as we speak, a young lady from Soufrière is now looking at all of the documents, every document, and then filing them properly, cataloging them, putting them in folders so that when you want to retrieve them, you can easily retrieve them. And then whatever we deem to be not worthy, those that have no value at this point in time, we discard them, or we put some of them, we archive some, we discard some, and then some of them we put in working folders. These are documents that's less than 10 years. We keep them in a working file. So that is ongoing. The second component of the project is to market and promote the SMMA. Very people do not know about the SMMA. That is why I'm so happy to be here today, to give people an idea as to what the SMMA is all about. People just see rangers and they see the office and they see the boys going on a boat and so on. But the SMMA is more than that, and people need to know. So part of the project proposal that I prepared, I asked the agency to help us promote the SMMA. Get a consultant to prepare packages and programs on outreach community programs. So in the coming months, you will see SMMA team will be going to the different schools, to different classes, and talk to the children about the SMMA. We'll be calling the community to town hall meetings to talk about the SMMA. You will see me doing radio programs like this one, not necessarily me, but other persons who know about it, like John in Campton, who worked with the SMMA and who has the memory of the SMMA. Mr. Marius Felix, unfortunately, I wish him good health. I wish him speedy recovery. He was a very good chairman, and from the documents that I was able to see, and you are going to see we going out in the community. You're going to be seeing ads. You're going to see articles. We are also upgrading our website. We have a website. As a matter of fact, there are 2 websites conflicting with each other right now. So this morning, I sent a contract to a gentleman who created the website to proceed and go ahead and upgrade the website. And our Miss Burnett Nestor, our hardworking administrative secretary, will be managing and maintaining the website, putting articles, pictures, whatever it is that we can, so that we have a profile within the community. And that is lacking because people do not know SMMA, what it stands for, what it does. People do not know.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dalsan. Interesting.
There's another component to the project. There's 3 components. The total value of the project is at $98,000. The other component is an accounting software management assistance. So we have an accounting software that we use, but the accounting software can do so much than what it is being used for. And so we want to explore everything that this software can do. For example, that software can generate statistics so that we can tell how many people came by Mango Tango, how many came by Carnival, how many, and then we can even go as far as saying how many came from England, how many came from wherever, because that's data we need to capture to put in our data bank, so that when we have to go back in history, we'll get a feel of what was really going on in the SMMA. Who are the people visiting the area, the protected area we call it? Who are the people? Is it more English people, more Canadians, more Caribbean people? That's the kind of data that we want to begin to keep. And so that accounting package can do that, but it will require us to have the human resource to go and capture the data and then input the data and then store the data.
Thank you so much for that. I can interestingly say it's a lot, but it can be done with the right team. Off the record, we actually spoke of having a monthly, well, I'm putting the time to it, a monthly radio show. I'm looking forward to that as well. We would love to see that happen again to inform persons with the affairs of the SMMA. As we move forward, I would
I will really appreciate that. It doesn't necessarily have to be me.
to you.
Yes, it must not necessarily me. We have Butcher, who is so knowledgeable about the SMMA. He has been there from over 30 years, I believe. Butcher can do that. Kajaki, the Rangers, maybe Janine Campton could come down. Maybe what's his name? Can't remember his name again. Can come down. You can call them and invite them. They will come. They know about the SMMA. Former presidents of the SMMA, former chairpersons of the SMMA can come and give their input about it.
That can be arranged, certainly. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we have seen a lot of challenges sometimes, and one which speaks to the loitering. How do you actually maneuver? I know sometimes it can be so busy with cruise ships. How do you maneuver with that level of loitering?
Loitering at the waterfront?
Yes.
Well, this has been a problem. I mean, both the SREF and the SMMA have issues with that. We don't know how to really go about handling it. But it is a problem, especially just by the police station there. I understand the guys who are there, they need to make $1, but the manner in which they do it sometimes is very destructive, and we need to really bring a measure of control. We don't want to chase people away, but the thing is that when people congregate in a particular area, there's a code of conduct that must be observed, especially if we are welcoming people, not only welcoming visitors, but our own people. There must be a certain level of respect. So the whole idea of gambling and cursing and heated exchanges, that's not healthy for a place where our visitors. It's like visitors coming to your home, and when they get in your home, you and your husband quarreling in their presence. That doesn't look good. So we need to do something about it. But we have a lot more issues. Probably we can talk about it as we go along.
Definitely. Recently, we saw a forum with the redevelopment of Software Waterfront, taking it way down to Barron's Drive. I know you're elated, so you can share with us.
Well, I was happy that there was this discussion with us, with the community, in fact, as to what is being proposed for the development of the waterfront. It's a bit regrettable that many more people did not show up at that meeting to ask their questions and their views. But as far as the project is concerned, in relation to the SMMA, I raised quite a few issues. I was very much concerned as to whether it was going to displace and dislocate the operations of the SMMA, whether we would have to remove our moorings, whether we would be able to collect the fees that we are collecting that sustains us, that sustain us, whether the boats that are coming in to the jetty, the two jetties, whether that is going to continue, whether there will have to be adjustments. I was concerned about how will it affect the fishermen. Will there be dislocation of the fishermen, especially the fishing priority area between the two jetties? That's a fishing priority area. Nothing must go there. No development must take place in that area. I was concerned about the water taxi boys who are making their livelihood of that. How would that affect them? How would the project affect them? And based on what the gentleman said, he says that is not going to be affected. The SMMA will continue to collect fees. We will continue to collect our and install our moorings and manage our moorings. SRDF will still continue to collect its fees, and they are not going to be depending those fee collection as a stream of revenue for the return on their investment. They said that they have other options to generate a return on their investment, not necessarily to remove what we are getting in Soufriere and take it over. So I was reassured that this is the situation, and I'm happy that this is how it is going to be. But we need more discussion because there were no blueprints, there were no designs, drawings for us to really see and understand. One thing that came out of that meeting was the fact that they gave the people of Barons Drive the assurance that they will not be relocated, that they are not going to interfere with them. If anything, they will be enhancing the environment for them to live. And when the plans come out, we are going to take a better look at it. Another concern I had was, how long is it going to take? Because we in Soufriere, we know investors come and they tell you, we're going to start geothermal energy. We're going to build a hotel at Margaretwood. We're going to build a hotel at Boca. We're going to do this. And then people have their hopes high, and then nothing happens. Well, the gentleman gave the assurance that the money is available, that they are working in 32 different countries in the Caribbean. They said they are in Nassau, just about opening a similar activity, and in other parts of the world where they have been, and they have always been able to deliver. So let's hope and see that it is the case.
Rest assured. Actually, remember, it is the first round of consultation for sure, and they will be dialoguing with the public.
Yes, that's what he said. Not once, but they would have to go to every community, especially the community like Barons Drive, the fishing community, the yachts services, Saisca, Soufriere Yachting, Soufriere Yacht Services Association. There's an association, a very good association, keeping the young men underwater together. So they will have to dialogue with them and tell them exactly what is going to happen as they proceed with the investment. So we look forward for it to happen. If it happens, then it's going to be a good thing for Soufriere. But I do not want it to be just make a statement and you raise people's hopes, and 7 years down the road, nothing happens. I asked that question at the meeting, and the gentleman said, within 24 months after the plans have been approved and the government has signed the MOU or the contract, whatever it is, the project should be well on its way. So that's what he says. So let us see that this happens.
Well, I actually think with the proposed plans and the discussions, actually, that it will augur well for the community, and not just Soufriere, but then we're looking at St. Lucia on a whole. The other thing with such a big project as well, which will actually create more opportunities for vessels to anchor in our beautiful harbor. What will the impact be in terms of crime? And I know the SMM is very concerned, as well as our entity.
One of the things I need to say to those of you listening and Soufriere people on the whole, we must never be against development, because nothing stays the same. I remember when we had discussion to start the project on the bus terminal, we had several town hall meetings. And at one time, there was a gentleman who stood up and said, we are going to be killing cricket and we are going to be taking this away. And, I understand why people have this kind of resentment towards change and towards development. But at the end of the day, look at Old Trafford, what it was before, and look at it today. So it's a good thing that this project started and has beautified the town and has resolved the problem with the buses and commuters and so on. So we must not be afraid of change. And for as long as the changes that are to be made are well explained to the people and we can see benefits, we should embrace it and do not oppose it. I believe the project, as you said, is going to be a very good one if implemented based on what I have heard so far. I also raised the issue with the gentleman about how are we going to prepare the community of Soufriere for that development. How will somebody with a small shop, like Helena with a little boutique selling souvenirs and so on, will there be assistance to give them to stock up or paint up their shop? What is it? Because if we are developing a cruise port, a cruise ship can, at one point in time, or on a given day, disembark to 3,000 people. Do we have the capacity in Soufrière to handle 2 to 3,000 visitors within 6-7 hours? Can we feed them? Do we have enough taxis? Do we have enough of this? So the project must be done in a recognition of the community, and how do you posture the community to benefit from it? Because if we see the development takes place, it looks good, and people are not benefiting, then it's like you pump a lot of money and you're not getting the maximum return to the community. With respect to the crime issue, well, I can speak about what is happening on the water. We have had the serious cases with young men breaking the yachts. And I cannot understand why a young man will not understand that if I go nighttime and harass and attack and injure somebody in a yacht, how that will not be affecting the entire community. Because what happened, we had about three or four incidents. What happened is I would be sitting by the waterfront and I would be seeing all the yachts sailing down the horizon going to the Grenadines. They were not coming to Soufrière. My friends in England called me, what is happening in Soufrière? Because they saw on BBC telling somebody telling them, do not go to Soufrière, because people are getting harassed, people are getting stabbed, people are getting chopped. Somebody, I mean, the community as a whole must fight back against it. You cannot depend on the SMMA or the Marine Police or whatever it is. It benefits every single person. And let me tell you something, Kabina. Do you know that one yacht visitor spends 3 times as much as a cruise ship visitor or a hotel visitor? Because when the yachts come to Soufrière, they go to the supermarket. The cruise ship people don't go to the supermarket. They go to the chicken and meat shops and they buy chicken. They go and buy toiletries. The yachts people, the cruise ship, they don't do that. So in terms of direct benefit to the community, the shops, the rum shops, the yachts people, they are the ones who stay and go to the restaurants at night. They are the ones who go by the local bars and buy the beer and buy the how they call the drink, the tea punch and so on. They are the ones doing that. So it is to our advantage when we encourage yachts people to come, because they spend a lot more than the cruise ship people. Of course, we want the cruise ship people because they pay head tax, they pay taxes, they use taxis, they eat somewhere, they visit sites. But in terms of the contribution that visitor per visitor would make to a community, a yachts person is definitely a preferred option. But combined, when we have all, it's better for us. So I'm making an appeal to the people of Soufrière. If you know who the people are, and some of these guys who go and break the yachts, the items they steal, they go in a house, they go in a household, they go in a family, they go somewhere, and the people living in the house, they know it was stolen. And then when they get shot, they come on TV and cry, my boy was a nice boy, my boy did this, he was a good boy. Hypocrisy. We need to stop it, and stop it now, because we are going to destroy our industry. When the yacht boys cannot get the yachts to provide a service for them, what are they going to do? What do you expect them to do? And we want to talk about crime. If they have nothing to do, what do you expect them to do? So if they are making a livelihood from the yachting services that they provide, and people are breaking the yachts, and the yachts are not coming, then you are making them unemployed, and you are making them looking for alternative ways to live, which may not be consistent with the law. And that's the reality.
In your opinion, what deterrents you think, can be actually implemented? Do you think we need more police presence and patrol, neighbor watch?
It's a gamut of efforts, and everybody must come together. Number one, everybody. First of all, there must be a recognition, a deep-seated recognition that this is not good for Soufrière. This is not good for Saint Lucia. This is not good for tourism. This is not good. All of us must understand that. Then, at the policy level, you must have the legislation, which is already there, in place, but it has to be enforced. If it has to be enforced, then you must provide the enforcement agencies with the tools and the wherewithal to do it. The Soufrière police cannot attempt to go underwater and try to fight or combat what is happening underwater. They do not have a vessel, and I don't think the job description would allow them to go and do that. If there's a crime underwater, okay, they will go there and investigate. But working underwater, marine, and working online, two different ballgames. So what we need police with specific training to police the marine resource of the country. And that's the responsibility of the marine police. But the marine police is so occupied otherwise, with the proliferation of guns coming from St. Vincent, from the north, from the south, and they only have about 2 or 3 vessels. The vessels are deployed in the northern waters, in the channel of Martinique, in the channel of St. Vincent. So they don't have the time to stay long enough in Soufrière to cause a deterrent from what is happening. We are the SMMA, our rangers do not have the authority to carry a firearm. I cannot ask Butcher and Kajaki and Jade to go underwater and combat criminals who are breaking yachts, because they come with well armed. Because the rangers do not have a license to carry a firearm. So what do? We have to pay somebody who has a license to carry a firearm, a police officer who's not on duty, a ranger who's not on duty, pay the person $150, $200 for the night, for 6 hours, so that the person can go out there and patrol and provide the surveillance. Where does that money come from when the yachts are not coming anymore? So it's a delicate situation that we must really, and that is why it is the community. It is the community that can stop it, not rangers, not marine police. Every single person. You see somebody wearing something that normally the person would not be able to buy, or will not be able to you don't know where the person get it from, create an alarm. There is a police hotline. They don't ask you to identify. I think it's 555. 555, call 555. They don't ask you for your name. They don't ask you for your number. Their number doesn't show up, so they don't know who you are. Give the hint. Give them a heads up what you have observed. I'm living in Fort Bernier, in the Fort Bernier area. I see a fella pass with something that you can only find on a yacht, and let the police then go and do it. Another issue, Kabina, is the whole idea of the attitude of some people towards law and order, towards what's right and what's wrong, towards what's legal and what is illegal. Some people believe that if you are doing something illegal, they have a right to do it. And the person who is supposed to police you from not doing the illegal activity is always wrong. Let me give you an example. Spearfishing is illegal in St. Lucia, in the fisheries of St. Lucia. The Fisheries Act, I think is section 49. It says specifically, nobody shall use a spear gun in the waters of St. Lucia. More so in a marine reserve. Yet, the rangers are going up there, doing their job, and catching the guys, spearfishing, and when they take their gear and they take the fish, everybody's up in row. Nous quand pêcher se dit la faire la vie yo, Dalsan il va comme l'argent, c'est pour la faire la vie, pas faire. No, there is a reason why they ban spearfishing in St. Lucia. Because when you spearfish, you miss the fish, you destroy coral. There may be people bathing in an area, you fire that spear, you might get it into somebody. If you want to spearfish, you have to go and get a license from the chief fisheries officer. That's what the law says. So recently, we had that case. And the guys went by the ranger's home and threatened to kill him and his family and to kill all his animals because he was doing his job. The day after, they passed by my home dressed in how do you call it? Wetsuits with the fishing gun to go and do it again. So there's a total disregard for the law. We are doing something. We are putting some devices in the water. It's a basket, a big basket made up of stones, and it's costing about $3,000 to $4,000 each. What that is doing is attracting juvenile fish. The fish, they go there and they spawn. There's one, I will not say where it is because they will go and look for it. One picture I saw has about 10 to 15 young lobsters already in 6 weeks after we put it there. So because there is that, they see a lot of fish in the area, they can go there, and they are juvenile fish. They have not spawned yet. So they go and they shoot them, and they come with a whole set of tiny fish, and some of them people don't want to even to buy because they're too small. So we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. I was coming from Tikai sometime during last week, and when we reached close to Anchester, there was a guy fishing within the marine reserve. So Jade was the captain of the marine boat, and he told him, and he got upset. He got rude. Wants to insult. The law is that you are not supposed to fish in a marine reserve. How can we protect the coral when you take your bait and your hook and you drop it, and then when you pull it up, you're coming up with a piece of coral? It takes 15 years for coral to mature. 15 years. I don't know how many people realize that our rangers and other people, including Chester behind the cemetery, they are deep going down in the water, and also some young men from Barron's Drive doing coral restoration. What is that? They are building a coral nursery. What is a coral nursery? They are making devices. They are taking pieces of coral and they are tying it to the device, if it is PVC or if it is a piece of metal, and then the coral will grow. And as it grows, it will attract the fish. The fish will come, they will spawn, and there'll be more fish in the water. I say fish. Some people say fishes, but the English is so funny. The English say it's uncountable. You say fish. If it is balau alone, you say fish. But if you have balau and tuna, you say fishes. Some for the British people, it's fish and no fishes. So you say one fish, two fish, three fish. That's how it is. That's like furniture. Just like furniture. One furniture, two furniture equipment. One equipment, two equipment. All everything is no equipments. Yeah. So somebody had me say fish might say I speaking badly, but that is what the English language is about. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Dalsan. What can you say that can maybe assist in terms of, do you think we need more sensitization, especially with the spearfishing? Because a lot of the times persons would say they were not aware, they didn't know, or they thought that it was right. Another thing, maybe, do you think they need to maybe put some boys and whatnot, something more to actually be a warning that to not go into this area, this is deep sea fishing or whatnot?
It's something that we have to do. Information is important. Where there is no information, there is ignorance. And when there is ignorance, people behave irrationally. And it is the responsibility of the SMMA, Department of Fisheries, SRDF, every agency, to inform people. There is a maxim in the law that says ignorance of the law is no excuse. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So the guys who are doing the spearfishing and those who are going and fishing the marine reserve, they know very well that they're not supposed to do it. They know. But it is just a matter of their mindset that they can do what they want, and nobody can stop them. Nobody can stop them. And that is the mindset. So they challenge you. And when you do your work, what is sad is the fact they threaten you. That's this kind of attitude. If a man tells me, if I have a gun, I shoot you right there and then. Because I will not give you the opportunity to come and shoot me. And the law will give me a certain measure of redress by so doing. Because you cannot look at me and tell me you're going to shoot me. We like to say too much. Threaten people. Every time they ask you to do something that is not you doing that is wrong, and now these days, that is the mindset, and that is something we have to change. We have to change that. We have to respect people. We have to respect the law. Let us not break the law. And if you go to court and you cannot go and say, I did not know, You cannot say, I did not know. I don't know all the laws in St. Lucia. I do not know all of them. So if I do something and at the point of questioning by the police, they told me it's illegal, I'll humble myself and say, officer, you go charge me. I'm sorry I did it, but I cannot go in court and say, Madam Magistrate, Mr. Magistrate, I did not know, I just do it. No, that's not an excuse. That's not a defense.
Thank you so much for that. 88.5 Surf FM is now 10 minutes, moving up to the hour of 11 a.m. in Surf St. Lucia and the Eastern Caribbean. Good morning to you if you're just joining us. This is House Guest for today, the 8th of March 2023. I think somebody is trying to actually make a contribution. Let's hear from that person. Hi, good morning to you. Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. At this time, this is where we near our dialogue. Seems to be packed, Mr. Dalsan. I know you have a lot more you would love to touch on, but then again, time is always a factor. Before you leave, I need you to share with us there was a lionfish demo which took place not too long ago. Your echoed sentiments on that and how soon maybe can person see another. For me, I know it's a difficult thing. Even with the lionfish, we were told that it's poisonous, but even now there were creative ways into preparing it so you may not even tell if it's lionfish that you're eating.
Well, once again, as part of our preservation and conservation and sustainability for fishermen within the waters of St. Lucia, in addition to what we are doing in terms of trying to cause the restocking of the fish of different species of fish in the waters of Soufrière. We know, the scientists have told us that the lionfish is a dangerous fish. Its appetite can never be satisfied. It eats any and everything, including you. The size of whatever comes in front of it doesn't matter. So you may find a medium-sized lionfish eating a 5-10 pound tuna in no time. And they eat every second of the day. What do they eat? The very same fish that the fishermen are going out there to try and catch to sell for us, for them to make a livelihood and for us to eat. It's what you call an invasive species. It does not belong to the Caribbean waters. It came from somewhere and just invaded and populated so rapidly that they are destroying our marine life. And we at the SMMA, together with the Japanese JICA, Japanese International Corporation, we decided to take an initiative to see how best we can, at least, maybe in a very small way, try to control it. And so we organized this lionfish competition, which went very well. We invited Anchasne, we invited Sugar Beach, we invited the dive associations. Some of them did not participate, and different dive shops in the tourism. We invited the fishermen, but the fishermen didn't show up. We got prizes. We got prize. The person who caught the smallest fish got the smallest lionfish got $500. The person who got the biggest got $800, and the person on the group, or the person who caught the most lionfish, got $1,200. And then we had $1,500 for the fisherman coming in with the most. But as I said, they did not participate in that competition. That $1,500 is still there because we want to organize it again, and I will implore the fishermen to participate the next time. And Carabiner, you will not know that on that one day, between 7 o'clock and 12 o'clock, over 200 pounds of lionfish, over 200 pounds, landed on the field where we were doing the measuring and the weighing. Over 200. I believe Sugar Beach alone came with 75 pounds. And chasney came with more than 50 pounds. Now, that's 200 pounds you remove. It's not going to end it, but at least the lionfish that we brought in there, if they were in the sea, they would be eating the little tuna, the little mackerel, the little balau that we're depending on. But the 100 pounds, they're not there. So it's a very small dent. So we have to do it again. We are going to do it probably sometime in May. If God spares our lives, we are going to do it again, but we want more people to participate. The lionfish is a very good fish to eat. It's difficult to clean. And there are people who have been trained to clean. I think they charge something like $5 a pound. But the fish that we caught, we were selling it at $5 a pound, and if you pay $5 to clean it for you, then you go. I have tasted it. It's a very nice fish to eat if you prepare it properly. It is, some people say it's poisonous. No, it is the spikes. The spikes on its back, that's poisonous. That's why nothing else can eat it. Nothing can eat it. Because the spikes can numb you and get you, immobilize you. And so you have to really do something about and kill them. But once you kill them, you remove the head, you remove the guts, you scale it, you have a very good fish that you can go home and cook and like any other fish. Yeah.
Also, we know that keeping a town beautiful, of course, is a necessity. And SMMA has had a series of cleanup campaigns. Will your agency be embarking on any?
Yes, we constantly participating in marine cleanup. Wherever there is one organized by any agency, you see, not too long ago, I think late last year, there was one organized, I believe it's by the Tourism Advisory Committee, some tourism act group, and then we participated. Our rangers did go with the tanks, and they dived down to the bottom of the sea and pick up whatever bottles, plastic bottles that was there. And some people do not understand how dangerous it is. These things are. You've seen turtles being killed just because they swallow a plastic bottle because they believe it's jellyfish. Even you see fish entering a container and getting trapped in the container. And all of these, this we have to be that's what I'm saying. As a community, we have to be more cognizant of what is really going on. If you buy a soft drink, why throw the bottle on the street when you know it's going to end up in the sea? If it ends up in the sea, it's going to pollute. That bottle is not going to disintegrate until all of us die. But at the same time, it is disposing all kinds of chemicals into the water. And then you go and bathe in the water. And then you go and eat the fish in the polluted water. So where are we going? We have to be more cognizant of that. But then it's a process of educating the people and let people know. But what I will not contest is the fact that every single person in Soufrière, in Castries, in St. Lucia knows that if you have a soft drink bottle, if you have a wrapper, you should not drop it on the street or in the gutter. Dispose it properly because everything ends up in the sea. I read something somewhere. They said by I can't remember the year, there'll be so much plastic in the water that there will be no space for rejuvenation of the fish stock. They'll be destroyed. Because I saw another one where they showed you a bay, and it was like a carpet for miles. Just like you see the sargassum. Just imagine where you see the sargassum spread out through a mile, 3-4 miles of bottles floating on top of the ocean. And that is how bad it can get. That is how bad it can get if we do not practice conservation measures. If we are don't cherish, we just do things haphazardly. We have no consideration for your very own livelihood. When these things happen, it comes right back on us because we are self-destruct.
I think it's a grave concern, well noted. 11 a.m. in Soufrière, St. Lucia and the Eastern Caribbean. Just before we leave, your final comments. What change would you like to see in the community?
Is a greater consciousness for conservation and protection of our natural assets, our natural resources. Appreciate them even more than the visitors do. appreciate the marine resource. I would like to see a higher level of employment in the community. I would like to see more infrastructural development taking place. Um, our roads, the sidewalks, I would like to see more beautification, household beautification. Somebody mustn't come and tell you your house is deplorable. Clean the front of your house and cut the grass. Don't depend on council workers to clean the grass for you. I would like to see a more consciousness of the environment in the minds, to be instilled in the minds of our people. I would like to see more cooperation, more unity among the people. But all of these things come at a cost. And a nation can only do so much given the resources that is available to it at any one point in time. And for us to be dependent solely on what the government, irrespective of which government, the government must do, the government must do. We must have the understanding that government, irrespective of which government, can only do so much at any point in time. I know there is a high demand on the foundation for almost any and everything. And it's a good thing that this organization is there to provide some assistance, but it cannot provide assistance to everybody. And I'm certainly sure that the foundation is prioritizing how it dispenses its assistance. The SMMA is supposed to be doing the same thing, but we're in a cash-strapped situation. We are just trying to revive. And as we proceed, we are going to be just like the foundation, giving assistance to community, giving assistance to households, giving assistance to the fishermen, giving assistance to some of our children, the school children. In fact, we just give some assistance to the Itang school by way of the sports meet and so on. So we're in a little position where we can do little things in the community. So that is what I would like to see, quite frankly. Yeah. That's it.
So for 2 minutes after the hour of 11 a.m. in Sofa Solution, the Eastern Caribbean. This has been a broadcast of House Guest for today, Wednesday, the 8th of March, 2023, with the chairman of the Sofa Marine Management Association, Inc., Mr. Harold Dalsan. It was a great pleasure hosting you to our listening audience online and by via frequency. I say thank you so much for joining us here. Do have yourself a productive one. Once again, thank